I guess we can kick off a bit ahead of schedule. That's fine, yeah. So, as moderator mentioned, my name is Milan, and together with my colleague Vuk today, we're going to explain you a bit how we, together with ChatGPT, running on Azure, made some of the most complex analytics in marketing world simple. So basically, it's kind of a joint effort between what we've done, the technology that we developed, coupled with ChatGPT's unique value add. First of all, we are a software company, a software technology company that exists over 15 years now. And over these 15 years, we've been mainly focusing on developing technology that helps both brands and retailers get closer to their customers and to their consumers. So basically, it consolidates all the different kind of analytics and all different kind of data sources in one place, so that brands on one hand side can understand how their consumers think, how their consumers behave, and why do they think and behave like that. And on the other hand side, retailers can understand their business operations to granular details, as well as how to smart target their customers better with the most relevant propositions. So when we talk about the typical setup for brands, our platform basically spans across multiple data sources and multiple business domains. It started as an all-around market research platform, which means it can digest data from all kinds of market researches. So as you might know, this market research data is mostly a psychological type of data, which helps marketeers understand behavior of their customers, and it helps them segment their customers to the purpose of approaching them better in the future. On top of that, brands also work heavily with the retail data, data coming from retail world, whether it's a retail monitoring data or data coming from their key accounts or their sales data as well. And then we bridge the gap between this marketing and sales world by actually fusing the data and insights from these two domains. On top of that, brands also really rely heavily on online sentiment of their consumers and the online activities of their customers and consumers within the categories that they're mostly interested in. So we basically said, okay, let's give them tools to analyze that data properly and connect it from all the insights that they gather from market research and retail world. Now, as we kept adding all of these different data sources and all of these different pillars, the analytical stack became more and more complex. So basically, for a person to understand different kind of data sources and different kind of data, their mental capacity has to be really big. And as a lot of these data sources are new, the learning curve becomes more and more challenging for a lot of marketeers. So basically, what our platform does once all of the data is uploaded and in its memory, it's an in-memory analytical platform. First of all, it enables these business users to discover any type of insight from any type of these data sources and connect these insights. So if a user has a strong analytical mindset, basically he or she can slice and dice and data in any way they want until they get the answer to the business questions at hand. And these business questions can be from different business domains, either from marketing or consumer domain, or from sales and trade domain. But this requires basically this user to understand these different data sources, different data structures, and to understand what they are searching for. Now, for more focused analytics and for more specific business cases, we have developed specific modules that are more or less interactive kind of dashboards where they can easily segment the consumers, then tailor-make specific propositions, or smart target them with specific product propositions, optimize their SKU portfolios, their pricing strategy, conduct some forecasting for specific market segments, bring the consumer segments to the level of individual POSs or micro locations, and see what kind of baskets or association rules are relevant for what kind of consumer segments. However, even for these specific business modules, still the user should at least know how to use them, okay? Should understand how to break down the business questions into granular components, and between these different granular components use different modules. That sometimes is a challenge for an average user. And yes, from any place within the platform, they can actually launch a targeted surveys or personalized surveys and promotions. So this is how a typical screen looks like, the analytical screen. So when you see a screen like this, for how many of you does it look actually overwhelming? Yeah, it does look a bit overwhelming. So we started, as we are mostly engineers, so just 1 second. So we thought, okay, it makes sense to give an option to the user to choose any type of data, any component from data, use any type of KPI across the data sets, and just create any kind of report that he or she needs with just drag and drop. And this will do the job. However, when we start doing the trainings and people see this kind of screen, we see a lot of scary faces. Sure enough, there are a lot of analysts that prefer this kind of screens and this kind of I can do it all approach, but the share of them within average corporation is quite small. So then we said, okay, if we give them some nice interactive dashboards and modules that they can recognize, like product portfolio, where they can just overlay different consumer segment information, or just product switching and just profile them from switching, or funnels and so on. We still face a resistance, because they still require some knowledge how to use these modules. So by encountering different kind of challenges of the need to understand the data, the need to understand the data components, that too many things are just in one place and it's quite overwhelming for a human brain, and people just don't naturally connect different kind of KPIs with different kind of data. And most importantly, we always face a resistance of people don't want to learn new tools. That's simply, even if a tool is more simple than anything they used before, even if it's more powerful, even if it would simplify their life, there is a natural human resistance to new things, even with data analysts. So then when we saw when I started using ChatGPT, that actually looked like a good solution because it's kind of a uniform. You prompt a question, you get an answer, or you get some kind of a result. So that's why we turned to ChatGPT as a potential bridge to some of these, or most of these challenges. And how that actually works, Vuk can...
should we show the cross tabs first?
Yeah, we can do. Just for you to understand quickly the challenge, we actually have a live demo part. So yeah, the challenge that I tried to explain in words, so you see, this is what a typical user would see when they log on to the system. So they have a whole bunch of data sources of market research, so consumer trackers, brand health trackers, or whatever ad hoc researches they have. Then they then have typically the Nielsen data, then the sellout data from shops, and some online, let's say, Facebook campaigns data. And even though it's quite easy, at least from our perspective, that I can go in and just say, okay, for certain type of demographics, I want just to profile different type of chips users, let's say usage of chips, for people that see chips brands as extremely important. So I'm just navigating through different part of the questionnaire, and then I can easily interpret this data as some statistical tools color these cells, so I can just read color cells like Krusty Krok is predominantly used by females, while Chio and Chippy Chips are predominantly used by males, and then I can get further in the age groups and so on. This looks easy for analytical mindset. However, it doesn't seem to be easy for an average business user. So let's see how ChatGPT solves that challenge.
Okay, thank you, Milan. So I'll be speaking about the integration of our platform with ChatGPT, and we'll leave a couple of minutes at the end for questions. So if you have any questions, we'll be glad to ask the ChatGPT. We don't have that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we did it over the Azure platform, where we use the cognitive search service and the Azure OpenAI service. So first, we have our documents uploaded from our database, documents that explained our data to the ChatGPT. And then when a user prompts through our platform, the user writes in natural language his request, and then it is transferred to the Azure cognitive search, which searches our documents, pulls out some candidates which are good results, and then do a secondary re-ranking, semantic re-ranking for the best quality of the results, then sends it to ChatGPT, which with this prompt and these results comes with an answer, and then it calls the function from our BrandPulse platform, and BrandPulse does the same analysis that you just saw Milan do. So let me show you how it is done with ChatGPT.
Yep. Let's now present it on because it's in a presenter mode.
Oh, sorry.
Just 1 second. Okay. No, you're good.
Thanks. Okay, so we'll just write show me a connection of primary usage of Coke and Pepsi with demographics and I know
lifestyle media.
Lifestyle. Okay. So it does take some time, 15 seconds or something.
So it's a live demo, and it executes APIs in runtime. Yeah.
Okay, great. So we have Coca-Cola, we have Pepsi, recognize that, and we have the demographics variables, and we can see, I can go to the right. Okay, we can just see it in the cross tabs. So this is the analysis that it gave us. It found a lot of demographics like type of settlement, marital status, and at the end, the different kinds of lifestyles. Yeah, so we can do another analysis. Okay.
And basically, it also gives kind of a feedback on the request, on the, let's say, more of a human language request, what it actually technically found in the database. So it does this cognitive connection between the the actual variables in the database, and it explains, based on your request, I could find these variables, and this is how I structured your analysis. Now, in all honesty, some things, sorry, it's kind of a long search. Some things can be relevant, some things you might want to look in a different way. So in this case, we can just say, okay, I prefer to have put brands across or in columns. So it still recognizes this kind of semantical meaning of my request, so I don't have to be very specific that what I want in rows or columns, but I want to explain how I like to view my data better. So the part of this mapping of human language requests to the system, it takes a while, but you see now it gave me a bit nicer analysis where I can profile my Coca-Cola users and see that they're more males and more, let's say, younger age compared to Pepsi, lower level of educations, and more like careless hedonists rather than Pepsi users or average market users. So a lot of insights can be read directly because it recognizes that when you say give me a connection, it recognizes the fact that I need some kind of statistical significance, and it actually colors the cells that I need to read and interpret as a marketeer. Please continue, Vuk.
Okay, let's do another one. Okay. Show me an analysis of where people do their big shopping by gender and show only for employed women. Now let's see how it will understand this one. Okay, we got only gender, only female, for different kinds of stores where people are shopping. Let's see what we got for the filter. Yes, so it picked only employed women, because when we put it here, it does an end analysis. So yeah, let's go back to the presentation. That's right. Yeah. So for the part with the integration of with the Azure platform, it was pretty straightforward. But like the biggest challenge in this project was how to make this document where we will describe our variables so that ChatGPT understands what each of them stands for and what data they hold. And we went through a lot of iterations. So we explained basically if it is a question and the answers for the question, we had to redo the labels. But the most important part is that we had a verbal explanation for every variable, what it does and how it can be used. And we were like, okay, so we need to explain it the best so ChatGPT understands it, and who else to ask than GPT itself. So it helped us through making this document being more understandable. So because with our database, it's different. It's not like an ordinary SQL database. We have questions from the questionnaires. Questions are sometimes long. We have multiple questions. They're pretty similar. So we had to use the cognitive search to find the right question when we really want it. So what we, and especially our clients, are concerned, that's the safety of the data. And this is what they say on the Azure platform, that our data that we put into it is not available to other customers, not available to OpenAI, not used to improve OpenAI or to improve Microsoft services. So there's nothing to worry about that, which is one of the reasons that we used Azure. But also we used it because it really has the best reviews. It provides the whole infrastructure, and it is fairly simple to implement. And our next steps, what would be next for us? Well, next, what we were thinking is when we get the analysis with the help of ChatGPT, then we go back and feed it this analysis again and ask from it to do some kind of analysis, to comment on it, find some insights, maybe recommendations, which would leave our clients, like from the moment that they write the prompt, they would have made analysis in a couple of minutes. So yeah, I hope that we interested you a bit to think about if this is something that you could use on your app or in your company. And thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, we're here.
Thank you very much. Do you have any questions? Yes, microphone, please.
Hi, guys. That's a very interesting presentation. Thank you. A question is how to prevent hallucinations in the analysis. It might have quite some bias in the data analysis and provide some non-relevant results, or you are just using it for basically selecting the proper columns and rows for your analysis, and that's it. And then the system doesn't do any specific analysis itself, and all you have to do is to monitor that all the columns and rows are correctly done.
That's a fairly complex question, to be honest, because biases are the biggest enemy of the data, because they, especially of the research and overall marketing data, online data, and so on, because biases are hidden in everything that is produced out of the human being, different kind of bias. But I'm not going to go into that. But yes, your assumption is correct. Actually, we are tackling the challenge of biases with statistics. So we apply different statistical models to try to stay away from the biases. Researchers, on the other hand side, are tackling the biases in shaping the research methodology properly to stay away from biased responses. As this is kind of the example that we showed is based on a survey-based data. So, but ChatGPT can be biased, can have their own biases. And we are limiting the type of the biases that AI can have by just giving him the responsibility of structuring the analysis instead of a user. And then it's our analytical engine then processes the data and applies specific statistics to try to limit the effect of the biases. That's in a nutshell. Right?
Yes, behind you.
If I can just interject here, I would say that analysts also hallucinate. So I think hallucination comes with the territory of ChatGPT, and we have just to deal with it.
True.
Thank you for the presentation. Very interesting concept, and I think you guys are actually surfing on this new shift in paradigm where future users of any software will not be requested to learn any UI. I see that you still have UI.
Yeah.
And my question was, okay, if you took out of the equation the need for someone to click on the features they would like cross-tab, how do you tackle the fact that someone has to learn the data dictionary that you have? How do you assist your users with that part of the of using your software? Because obviously you have 200, 300 different features on the list. How you facilitate that learning?
So that's exactly that's the biggest part of what we want to solve with ChatGPT. That with a prompt, you can actually navigate through the data dimensions. And by the way, it's not hundreds, it's thousands, which makes it even more complex for an average human being. This is the first thing that we want to train AI to do properly. That based on a request, it can precisely select the data dimensions. And by the way, it's not only survey-based data, it's also transactional data. So product features, POS or shop features, locations, and so on. And that takes us to our next step where we need to have a specific training set to teach that model to properly navigate based on a lot of examples to choose proper data. So that's actually the most important thing that we want to solve with ChatGPT. Otherwise, we also have some cognitive search embedded into the platform that they can just type in part of a phrase or something similar, and they get a filter on the dimensions that they can potentially use in the analysis. And it's, again, extensive trainings, workshops, babysitting, and everything else. Yeah.
More questions? No? Thank you very much. It was beautiful. Thank you.